Hi, I'm B. I'm from the Social Dance Society. So I'm the outgoing secretary, incoming president. I'm studying a Bachelor of Arts Science. I'm on the Sandy Bay campus. Oh, yes, you can go to the next slide. Oh,
We're just sharing screen.
you're sharing screen. Good. So I've been doing salsa dancing for about 3 years now, and I've been teaching it with the society for maybe 2 of those years. I've always been pretty passionate about consent and creating inclusive spaces because, traditionally partner dancing is a very kind of gendered space, and traditionally there's like a lot of expectations around consent that don't really fit with what I believe is like an affirmative consent culture. You know, people have traditionally not been taught, to ask other people for a dance in a way that they can say no to. It's kind of rude to say no in some spaces, and it's a pretty like gendered space. So we do a lot of stuff to make it the opposite of that at our society. It's a really fun space. Yep, that's a picture of me chasing auroras like last year. Shout out to Brian. So he's the outgoing president, incoming vice president. He created a lot of this content with me. We run like yearly teacher workshops and volley workshops for our volunteers where we talk through consent education and creating inclusive spaces. And also a shout out to Adi. She's from the Sexual Assault Support Services, and we've had a couple meetings with her where we've kind of worked through like structures for how we respond to incidents if they happen in our society, as well as creating codes of conduct and creating like training materials. Yes, so next slide. So just some housekeeping before we get started. So some of the stuff we're going to be talking about involves topics of harassment and assault. It can be confronting. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, maybe can I just get like 2 surreps who've kind of done their SAS training, put their hands up. So please feel free to go talk to one of them, or feel free to talk to me. I've done my sexual assault first aid training as well. I'm not a qualified health professional, but like I'm happy to just chat with you if you need someone to talk to and point you to some resources. So if you need to get up and have a wiggle or leave the room at any time to take a breath of air, that's totally fine with me. Just another little pointer to respect the shared space. We're going to have some group discussions, and I hope that everyone feels like they can contribute. If you notice you have your voice takes up a lot of space in a room, be aware of that. And if you notice you're speaking a lot in the group discussions, that might be a chance to kind of step back and create space for other people to contribute as well. Because we're talking about consent a lot today, I'll give you a little pointer. One easy thing to do is if you want to give someone a hug, ask them. Or if you want to touch them, ask them. I always like to be asked for a hug. I am a huggy person, so feel free to ask me. And if someone says no, that's all good. Feel free to pop your hand up if you have any questions. Yeah. Oh, I didn't say my pronouns. So I'm B. My pronouns are they, them. If you are introducing yourself to someone, please introduce yourself with your pronouns if you feel comfortable, or pass if you're not comfortable. Correct people if you hear them using the wrong pronouns. Just be friendly. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's all good. Yeah, talk to us if something happens. Next slide. So the first part is going to be about creating a culture of consent in our societies. So I'll just give you like a thumbs up. So the first activity is in our like little table groups or who you're sitting with, I just want you to have a short discussion about what does consent mean to you. So like if someone asked you to explain what the word consent means, what would you tell them? Go. So this is the framework that the Sexual Assault Support Services use. It's kind of the tradition, it's the accepted version of consent that we go with. So affirmative consent occurs when a person agrees to behave a certain way or do something that someone else wants. It doesn't just apply to, you know, sexual behaviors. It can apply to things like entering someone else's personal space or asking them for a dance or, yeah, I don't know, something simple like asking someone if they're going to belay you when you're in the mountaineering society, or asking someone if they want to try a vegan cookie if you're with the vegan society. Consent doesn't just end at yes. Next slide. So consent, affirmative consent means you're taking extra steps to ensure that the other person is agreeing freely and comfortably. So think about, are they really saying yes? Are there any signs that they might be uncomfortable or feel pressured or not have the capacity? So some pointers are consent is enthusiastic. So, you know, are they smiling? Are they nodding their head? Do they have open body language? And also remembering like affirmative consent looks different for different people. So, you know, for some people, affirmative consent might mean I'm making eye contact with you, but you know, like a lot of autistic people aren't going to make eye contact with you. So it can look different for people who are different. It's informed and specific. So let's say I'm asking you for a dance. This is the top of my head. So say I'm asking you for a dance and I'm asking you to dance salsa. I'd be like, hey, do you want to dance salsa? Let's say you say yes. And I say, are you happy dancing it open? Which is where we have kind of this much space between us. Are you happy dancing in closed? So that's a much closer position where I would have like my hand on the other person's back. Or are you happy with chest to chest connection? And yeah, so just make sure that you're being really clear about what it is that you want so that the other person knows what they're signing up for. It's an ongoing process. So just because I say yes at the beginning of a dance or another kind of thing that I'm asking for consent for doesn't mean that I can't change my mind or that I might feel different halfway through the activity. And it's important that we're continually checking in on each other and looking for those like non-verbal clues and encouraging people to like express if they are feeling uncomfortable and to use verbal signs, because yeah, not everyone can pick up on non-verbal things. And yeah, consent involves thinking about capacity. This is a really important one for societies. So capacity is like, you know, if someone's under the influence of drugs or alcohol, they can't give you their consent because their ability to make decisions is reduced compared to someone who is sober. So think about that if you're at events where there's alcohol. There's also another aspect of like pressure. So people often feel pressured to say yes or act like everything's okay when really it's not. And particularly as like community leaders, this one's really important for us because we are in positions of power and there is a power dynamic between us and the people who are attending our events. So for example, as a dance teacher, if I'm asking someone who's a complete beginner to dance, they might feel like, oh, this person is like super educated and informed and I've just got to say yes to them because, you know, like they're the role model and they tell me what to do. And this goes into the next slide. People can't say yes if they can't say no. It's important to give people an out and let them know that saying no is okay, because saying no is something that is, can't think of the word, it's kind of like frowned upon. Yeah, so an example of a easy way to do that is, let's say I'm asking my friend for a hug. Hey, do you want a hug? It's okay if you're not feeling like it. That's it. And then they can say no without feeling the pressure. Yeah, so that's the definition of consent SAS goes with. Go to the next slide. Oh, that one, yeah. So we've talked about what consent is, but what actually is harassment and what is assault, because there's a difference and people can get confused between the two. So if it's unwanted and it's sexual, it's not okay, full stop. If it's physical, it's assault. If it's non-physical, it's harassment. So yeah, physical touch is harassment. Oh, so it's assault, non-physical. So it really can be a huge broad spectrum of things. I'm not going to go into detail with it, but, you know, it can include things like, you know, texting people a lot more than they want to be texted and, you know, repeatedly asking for something someone said no to. It's extremely broad, and I really recommend that you go to the SAS training to think more deeply about this than I have time to go into depth with you today. So let's go to the next slide.